Hi everyone, Neil Snape, and I want to show you some new accessories that I got. The Aputure 2x Fresnel, as well as Nice Foto. Why is it called Nice Foto? Because I hope that it makes nice photos. And it's also a focalizable Fresnel adapter. It's much shorter. It's got a metal body on the inside, which is really nice compared to the other ones that they used to have. And it comes with a grid as well, a honeycomb grid, and the barn doors. So let's put them on the Godox here, the SL60W, and see what the output is and compare them side by side. I've turned off the other lights. Only the center light is turned on to 100% brightness with the 60 watts daylight balanced Godox. So my measurement is around 5.6 30th of a second at ISO 400. Nice Foto set to its maximum flood, and it gives me a reading of 5.69, so f8, 30th of a second. So the Aputure 2x set to its maximum flood, out any other accessories, and I get f11. Do notice the difference of the beam angle. So this is really important when you're considering. And what I like about the Nice Foto is, one, it's a metal body, but two, the beam angle is actually wonderful. It spreads out just as much as the normal reflectors, and it has a much nicer fall off in between it. So that's the advantage of the Nice Foto over the Aputure. So let's change this to so you have to screw out a long way. Do notice that with the pattern of light on the background, that you actually have a square COB on the Godox 60 series, and as well as the 100 and the 150. I believe that the 200 and the new one that I'm receiving soon, the FV, have round cob, so you have less chance that it'll be a square light pattern in the center. So this is at the maximum spot with the Nice Foto, and you get a reading at f11. So I'm going to focus in as 12 degrees, and the reading should be higher than the Nice Foto, and it's 11.7, 11.8. So at least 2/3 of a stop more. So you get a lot more light out of the Aputure than you do the Nice Foto. You pay a lot more for it, yet the zoom range or the flood spot range is a lot less with Aputure. So now comes down to the accessories. How usable are the barn doors? So if I shape these ones in on the Aputure, you can notice that they're actually not that good with the, it's actually made by Godox, that's what it says in the box. Anyways, with the barn doors on the Godox, are actually not that efficient. So we'll turn on the Nice Foto, turn off the Aputure, and this one's at 100%. I don't want the Aputure ones to get in the way. And you can see that they actually have more range with the Nice Foto. You do notice that you have extra lines coming out on it, and I want to show you something that's important to our image making. If you have your hands, the patterns that are behind, I don't know if you can see this on YouTube, but the patterns that you have behind, you can actually see the lines of the Fresnel in the glass with the Nice Foto. This is common with the cheaper Fresnels, and it's very prevalent. So if you have an object that's in the front and you want to shine it past the object, you're going to have some pretty weird shadows in the background. That doesn't happen with the Aputure. So let me turn this one off, turn on the Aputure, and you'll see that you have a lot nicer graduations. You don't see as much the Fresnel. You still see it, but you don't see it as much. And what I find is that, strangely enough, with the Godox series with the 150 watt, which is my key right now, up there through a softbox. It actually has less pattern than the smaller COBs. So let's get on to use of grids. 30-degree grid, and I believe this one goes in here. So aperture on full flood and on spot with the 30-degree grid. And this is the Nice Foto with spot with also a 30-degree. So I get 806 in the way, and this is 11. So a little bit of loss of light. I can do the same thing with aperture. So aperture with grid, 11.5 without the grid, 11.8 without, 11.8 and 11.5. So it cuts down a third of a stop. It's not very much. I just want to show you the various differences between reflectors and the output. This is equivalent of a P65 in a broncolor, so 65-degree output in a larger bowl. I use these quite often for beauty pictures. F8. And you see the nice pattern that you have on it. Of course, this is better when you have the newer round COBs. This is at 100% output, and you can see that you actually have, because this one has a grid holder inside of it, and that grid holder actually is reflecting light as well. So this is a standard reflector, one of the different ones that came with actually a different, so you get 5, 6.5. So you get less light output with the standard reflector than you do with a specialized reflector, and this is one that's halfway in between, so it's a 70-degree, a little bit larger than the standard reflector, and you get F8. And you can see it has a lot nicer output. So that's all there is to the differences of these reflectors. The way that they work, they can give you more output if you choose carefully. Aperture, it came with the barn doors and in the grid. It also came with these 2 points of magnetic and 2 little feet that are inside of the holder. I don't know what these filters, the quality are. Anyways, it'll give you some colors if you really want, but otherwise you could probably take them out and glue on some real filters like color correction filters, which would be useful. The aperture comes with a really nice case. Barn doors, they come off quite easily. There's a little, it's a spring-loaded latch. Okay. So barn doors are off. This is the aperture, this is the light. It's really super nice. Well built plastics, but I think it's going to last a long time. The Fresnel is a little bit larger and it's definitely a higher quality than the other one. There is a lens inside, so I suppose that that's fragile and you won't be able to fit many flash inside of there. Now the Nice Foto is really fantastic because the barn doors are metal. The center part, the helix, is metal as well, so it's going to last a lot longer. The outside is polycarbonate plastic as well for doing the focusing, and since it's away from the heat, I think it'll be okay. The Fresnel itself is not the greatest quality, but it's okay for the price. So actually, instead of using reflectors, I think I'm going to buy a bunch of the Nice Foto and use that as reflectors. Because the reflectors themselves that come with the lights, they're not very good quality, and the light pattern is not really what I'm used to. So if you're using these for photography or even video where you're concerned about the actual quality of the light, these are actually really, really good. So I highly recommend them, and it comes with its own fairly good quality actually little 30-degree grid. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you again. You can subscribe if you like. Give me a thumbs up, a like, thumbs down if you need to, and see you again.